you've had the last year, 18 months has been crazy.
Been
You know,
insane.
it's just, the International Quizzing Championships in Spain, you've had two Jeopardy tournaments, you've
Yeah.
had the WQC, you've had God knows how many Mimirs, and
That's just
um,
ICC is the only one I've played in that time, but
okay.
I did win it. Um, then BPCS,
Yeah,
their yearly championship. So that's all the last
yeah.
12 months.
And some KFL in there and some
Yeah,
OQL in there. It's just look when you look back, can you believe quite how much you pack in?
no. So it's interesting, that you word it that way because so like March or so 2023, I had like just this massive like sense of burnout.
Hmm.
Because I had set a really ambitious study plan for WQC 2023. I was playing like everything there was to play, and I was still working at the Journal at the
Hmm.
time. And like I had kind of decided at the beginning of the year that I wanted to leave that job, but like because of the chase, it made it tricky to just find a new one. So I
Hmm.
was, kind of holding on until I found out about that. Um, and at some point I hit the wall
Hmm.
like really hard. So I cut way back on the amount I was playing. But honestly, like if I had found a couple more points on last year's WQC, I would have thought very hard about retiring.
Hmm.
Because I was just, spent.
Hmm. Yes.
Um, it's better this year. Definitely things feel a lot more sustainable this year.
So you found a different way of balancing everything, even with some unexpected things like
Yeah.
the Jeopardy tournaments
Yeah.
coming
Yeah. Well,
into
I
the
mean,
mix.
what I basically just kind of was like, this is an opportunity that I need to grab with both hands.
Hmm.
And it means that I'm not going to prepare for WQC this year.
Yeah.
Not the way that I normally would. And like I was very fine with that.
Hmm.
So my expectations for WQC were I didn't think it was impossible that I'd win, but I
Hmm.
did not expect to.
Yeah. But I mean, Jeopardy, in a sense, I guess was a bit of unfinished business for you. You played it a long time ago, but how many times do you get to go on Jeopardy? So when somebody comes along
No,
and says, "Do you want
exactly.
to come back?" and it's like, well, yeah, because you
Of
might never get
course.
asked again. So,
Right, right. I mean, I didn't think of it in my head as unfinished business. I figured it was very much, finished business
okay.
and then this kind of drops into my lap.
Mm,
And like I was going to give it
mm,
everything I had,
mm.
in terms of preparation. And I was like, WQC will be there.
Yeah, there will be more. There'll be one every year. You'll be
Right,
more opportunities. So
exactly.
it makes sense to prioritize. And you play so many different formats with so many different curriculums and you know different knowledge sets. You, I guess you have to prioritize where you put a lot of your effort
Yeah.
because trying to do everything to the nth degree is just going to kill you.
Yeah, like at some point I was really trying to learn more of the British Pacific stuff and playing
Mm,
playing more things like tea time and Okio, and like
mm,
I've dropped all that. Like
mm,
that's the thing that I cannot like
mm,
doing the international stuff, and then the stuff that is like within range for American TV game shows
mm,
is like already a lot.
yeah.
More than that is not
Mm.
feasible.
It's good that you've managed to kind of pull yourself back from that edge of burnout kind of thing because
Yeah. Yeah.
it can really take the love and the enjoyment out of it. Do you,
Yeah.
do you
I mean, I
still
was
do you still love it in the same way?
I do.
Mm,
I'm very happy right now. If you'd
mm,
asked me a year ago, I would have had a lot more ambivalence. Spain was also really helpful for kind of
mm,
reminding me why I enjoy this, especially like the team competition stuff,
mm,
like getting to play against those opponents with that team.
mm,
Like it's kind of a paradox, and this is like something that I've talked about with friends, where the work isn't always terribly pleasant to do. Like I do enjoy studying, I do enjoy picking up new things, but like there are definitely days where it feels like, it's a bit of a slog, especially when you're really approaching a competition and you've put a lot of work in before that. Like the last week before WQC, every day I got done with my cards. I was like, um, but like at its best, the feelings are really peak experiences, but you don't get those experiences without all the really unglamorous work that comes before them.
Yeah.
So you're always kind of making a decision between like, how much work do I want to put in for how much reward?
Yeah. And the higher you go or the higher level you compete at, it's really you have to put a lot more work in for a
You
tiny
really
incremental
do.
gain, don't you?
You really do. Like the amount of work that I was putting in before my first WQC, where I got, I think, somewhere in like the low 130s. Um, it is many multiples more time and effort to be where I am right now.
Mm,
Um, and I mean, just think of it like, kind of like a concentric circles, like a target. Um, you know, the stuff that falls within like your level ones and everything is just in terms of just magnitude, there were so many fewer answer lines and so many fewer things to know about them at those levels than as you go out. So I mean, being really patient is a big part of it.
mm,
Um, because all improvement is very slow and gradual. And it's just the sum of all of those, like,
mm.
minutes.
Yeah.
Uh,
All of that time, and you never know
yeah,
when it's going to pay off. But
right,
it's a very solitary thing for a lot of the experience of being a quiz or all that learning. Nobody can do it for you. You have to
right.
do it for yourself. And a lot of the playing that we do is also very solitary.
It
So
is. Yeah.
when you won the IQC with Team USA, that must have just been an amazing experience because how many times do you
Yes.
get that sort of thing? Not just, you know, the people you played with who are
Mhm.
great people
They
anyway.
are. They're wonderful.
Um, but just that kind of it's a very different form of quizzing and
It
a very different
was.
experience.
And like, we all basically realized at the same time that it was over.
Mm,
That mathematically. So like, we're all up there celebrating the same thing at the same time. It was really cool.
yeah. And it's a shared experience, whereas very often quizzing is
Yeah.
your experience and
And
it's
like, I'm also really confident that you take anybody out of the mix on that team and
mm,
we don't contend. Everybody contributed unique answers,
yeah.
multiple.
2023 slash 2024, big, huge year. Jeopardy, just incredible.
Yeah.
But you played some of the best players in the show's history in that tournament. Um, does that temper your kind of expectations, your ambitions when you know it's like, Yogesh and James Holzhauer and
Yeah.
this type of
Amy
person?
and Taya and Matt are all wonderful as well.
Yeah.
Probably less known like outside the
Mm,
US, but all five of them are great players.
yeah.
Um, I did not go in with high expectations because I mean, Jeopardy is built
Mm,
to be a combination of skill and luck.
mm,
And then you're also adding the buzzer component, which is very quirky. So I just, knew that I would be as well prepared as I could in
mm,
terms of material, in terms of practicing reflexes, and in terms of working on strategy.
mm,
Beyond that, all you can control is your process. You can't
yeah.
control what anybody else does.
Yeah. And you clearly did because, came out on top in the Masters tournament. Presumably that means that, for forever and a day now, you're going to get invited back to tournaments and get to do it again.
Well,
So
the top three from the Masters tournament go back to the Masters tournament next year. So
awesome. So you get that fun all over again.
I'm so
Uh,
excited.
No, we're absolutely delighted for you.
Yeah.
It has been the culmination of a lot of hard work, and your results have across so many formats have been remarkable. It's also the way you carry yourself as well, your humility and the
Thank you.
friendship you show people. All of that, gets noticed and gets respected. Um,
I feel
so-
very lucky to
mm,
have the friends I have in this
mm,
community. Like, I just feel very grateful to them.
yeah.
And like they have improved my life immeasurably and taught me so many cool things.
Mm. Well, I mean, quizzing is about questions. It's also about people,
Very
and
much so.
and I think we should never quite lose sight of that amongst
No,
everything. Yeah. But in respect of this particular person that I'm looking at right now, I'm so delighted for you, and
of
uh, thank you so much for speaking to us, and
course.
congratulations once more, Victoria Groce World Quizzing Champion 2024.
Thank you.
If you want to hear more from Victoria Groce, then check out our previous two interviews, one about the World Quizzing Championships and one about her study techniques. This video was produced with the support of our Patreon members. For £3 a month, you can support the work of All Things Quiz, and there are a range of member benefits. Go to patreon.com/allthingsquiz to find out more.